Welcome to In Touch with Officer Dawn and Ray the DA, a Clear Channel radio show with two of the most respected crime fighters in Lexington. I'm your host, Jenna McNeil. Listen weekly as we discuss hot topics in the criminal justice field. Recently, in Massachusetts, a federal judge ordered that the state pay for a prison inmate to receive a sex change. Michelle Kuselik is in prison for life for murdering his wife. And because of his prisoner status, taxpayer dollars will fund this expensive cosmetic surgery. Even with absurd stories such as this, liberals continue to fight to reduce funding spent on law enforcement by doing things such as releasing inmates early and minimizing consequences for crime. In Lexington alone, we've seen the backlash of these efforts, with our property crime rate spiking, transferring the cost of crime from our government to the backs of innocent crime victims. If you have been affected by this issue, Ray the DA would love to hear from you. Email him at raylarson@lexingtonprosecutor.com. That's raylarson@lexingtonprosecutor.com. And you may hear your story on the next In Touch. Let's tune in now.
Welcome to In Touch Crime Beat. I'm Officer Don with Fayette Commonwealth's attorney Ray Larson.
Out of jail, okay? Don't mess up.
And those are the people, those repeat offenders, the ones that go to prison. And
I say we're the #1 rated radio show in the whole country. All the talk in the criminal justice system, or at least the excuse for letting out criminals, seems to be they're running out of money. But Ray, there's a shocking story that you pointed out to me on your Facebook page, where an inmate is going to get a taxpayer-funded sex change.
right.
We can't afford to keep people in prison, but they're going to find a way to fund this guy. That tell us about this dude. What is he in for? Is he in for drugs? Because everyone's in prison for possession of marijuana.
Well, as a matter of fact, almost nobody's in prison for possessing marijuana.
Do we know what he did?
Yeah. He murdered his wife.
Okay, this guy killed his wife.
Killed his wife.
It's life in prison.
Put her in the trunk, drove the car to a shopping center parking lot, left it. He was subsequently convicted, sentenced in Massachusetts to life without parole, period. So he's in prison for the rest of his life. Now, he's in a men's prison because he's equipped like a guy.
He's in a man's prison because he's a man.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he is trapped. He says he's a woman trapped in a man's body. Well, this thing has been going on and on and on. It's been through court for a while. And finally some federal judge, a politically appointed federal judge who was at the right place at the right time to be appointed, has said Massachusetts has to pay for this guy's sex change operation because being in a men's prison is a threat to him, and it's a mental issue. So this.
Can you imagine what that costs? Of course, you're really not adding anything; you're taking it away. It's got to cost a lot of money to do that.
I don't know. I really had never looked into it. Probably never will look into it.
You think maybe this is a trick that he really wants to get into the woman's prison?
I don't have a clue about the motives of these guys. That's a good point. And don't really care. All I know is that it's a clunker. As the public reads this thing, they say, "What? What are we doing? What's the court order in the prison system to do?"
And we've brought this up before. They always talk about cutting expenses. Well, they talk about cutting the salaries of our police officers, of our firefighters, cutting their benefits. I mean, that's always in the talk because they're getting too many benefits. They never talk about cutting prisoner benefits. And this is a great example. So it's not enough to get your cable television and your air conditioned cell and food and medical care and conjugal visits and all the stuff that they get. Now they're going to get sex changes.
You know, the only thing I really know about conjugal visits comes from listening to Berta on 2.5 Men. When she, that's. Do you ever watch 2.5 Men?
I have not seen that show.
Oh, give me a break.
Really?
You're one of those. Let me tell you
I'm
something.
not going to support Charlie Sheen. You can't do it. I'm teasing. I've never seen the show.
Well, let me tell you something. At one point, that show was the most popular show on television, and you can almost not find anybody that will claim they watched it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I watch it, and I think it's hilarious. I think the new one with this Ashton Kutcher, or Kutcher, or whatever the hell his name is.
You're not a fan?
Well, he's a wimp. You know, it's just a hoot. Who knew that when you watch 2.5 Men, you were really watching Charlie Sheen live out his life?
That's exactly right.
It's a hoot. I've got the report from the monthly crime activity bulletin from the police department for August. You know what's happened in August, and once again the property crimes are overwhelming the violent crimes. 92% of the crimes that occur in Lexington during August, Part 1 crimes. Now, this isn't drug cases. So this, hey, all of you liberal folks out there that say, well, hell, Larson's belly aching about the possession of marijuana. This doesn't include drug cases. This is murder, rape, robbery, assault, burglary, larceny and theft, auto theft, and arson. That's what's reported. 92% of those cases were property crimes. That means people's cars are broken into. You wouldn't believe the number of people that call me angry because their neighborhood has been hit. And it's, you know, you sit around and roll your eyes when I start saying this again, but a small percentage of criminals, 5%, commit 60 to 80% of the crime. The idea is with these breaking into homes and breaking into cars, stealing cars, is being done by a small number of people. And the legislature has decided property criminals don't need to be going to prison. They need to be probated and supervised in the community by being probated. Well, these are the people that just commit crime after crime. Most recently, we've been talking in the office with the auto theft people, and we figured out that recently, when some of these people we catch have been averaging about 60 LFAs, larceny from autos, each. See, so all you do is you grab the 20 of these thugs, put them in for 3-4 years, and guess what? You're going to kind of have a reduction. But man, that philosophy doesn't seem to fit.
Well, you were telling me that you get emails from people all the time that just want to vent. They're just mad because they listen to us talk about this here, and then they wake up one morning and their car has been rifled through and been broken into, and they're like, "Hey, you were right," and they tell their story. What was the gal's name who had her car broken into, and the police officer could only write the guy a ticket?
Alka Harold is her name.
She sent a few emails.
Yeah.
But more than anything, not mad at the police, not mad at the prosecutors, because, you know, hey, look, the police are saying, listen, we want to arrest these people. We want to do something with them, but we've been told to write them tickets.
Because that's what the law requires.
That's right. We can only do what the law tells us to do. And as a prosecutor, you're like, look, I want to prosecute these people. I want to send them to prison, but I got to get past the legislature. I got to get past the judges, you know, to make that happen. All you can do is do. If you have a story you want to tell, Ray would love to have your email.
Heck yeah.
Go. What's your email address? Or the best way to reach it.
Well, the best way to reach me is Ray Larson at LexingtonProsecutor.com. Ray Larson at LexingtonProsecutor.com.
And we'd like to maybe use email on the air. So if you don't want us to do that, let us know. But we'd like to share. We won't put your name. You don't want. But it just gives folks a chance to vent, because really that's all you can do right now is just bent. But if it makes you...
Well, the thing you can do is call your legislator and tell them you don't like it. Let me tell you another one that'll just curl your toes. In August, there was the value of property stolen. The value of property stolen was $2,435,744.
Is that up?
Yeah. To date, through August, which is 8 months, the value of property that's been stolen in Lexington, Kentucky, is $15,600,000. Do you know how much it would cost to keep keep our jail full at $55 a day per prisoner?
Mm-hmm.
For 240 days, which is what 8 months is, would be $1.1 million less than the value of the property stolen.
You know, and
so their premise is all wrong.
I'm wondering what they're feeding them at $55 a day too. I mean, because that's more than a bologna sandwich. $55 a day. Why would it cost so much? I know, you know, but even that, I think if you broke that down, you'd go, wait a second, hold on, give me a break. Anyway, yeah, I get the point. I mean, it would be cheaper to keep them in jail and just pay the $55 a day than to have them out stealing. But what's happening is they have just basically switched it from the Justice Department's budget, corrections budget, to your family budget.
Tune into the following stations to hear the full episode.